Whoop. Hey guys, Colonel Dan here today, and yes, today we are going to show you how to create, or today I'm going to show you how to create a rubber band ball. So, here's how it looks. Here's a very small one. In fact, let me compare it to a coin. So here, you can see that the diameter of the ball is almost a bit larger than the ball. The diameter of the coin is a bit smaller than the diameter of the ball. So what I'm going to do is, if I want to expand on this ball, I'll just keep on putting more and more rubber bands over it, just overlapping it. See this red one? Because the red one, this rubber band over here was so long, I had to twist it and rewrap it over the rubber band ball a few times to make sure that it stayed and that it wouldn't come off if it rolled around. So many things, rubber bands are, rubber band balls. In fact, they're very hard to deal with in the creation of it, and I'll show you how to make one. So to start with the base, the thing all the way inside the center of this, sorry, yeah, I'm a bit sick, but here, you want to start with a thick rubber band. What does this one say? This says product of Mexico. Anyways, product of Mexico asparagus. That's some good stuff. What you want to do with this rubber band is take it like this, and then you want to kind of fold it over itself to make it thicker, like that, right? Like that, and then you want to fold it over itself again to make it less like a band and more like a nub of rubber. You're going to take another rubber band and kind of like this, wrap it around this one. You want to wrap it over the base rubber band a few times to make sure that it's nice and thick and that it won't fall off. You don't want to make it weak. There you go. Something like that, right? And then you take another rubber band and then you do the same thing. You just keep on wrapping it. You wrap it over. Here, let me get it in here. You wrap it over the base like this, and it just keeps on getting larger and larger. Hold on. Yep, it's hard to keep it in the shot. Like that. Anyways, this is really messy. I spent a lot more time on this one, creating the base, because once you have a good stable base, then you could, it gets wider and wider, and then it gets easier to wrap rubber bands over it. So, yeah, you want something like this. Here, let me actually just finish it off. Like that. That's actually not bad at all, because the more rubber bands you put over it, the more it'll become more spherical. See, this is kind of like a random lump. Oh, you also don't want parts sticking out like this as well. So what I would do, if you see parts sticking out, if it's long enough, you can wrap around like this, and then just create another wrap around, make it a bit thicker. So something like this can turn to something like this, and then something like this can turn to a size of, I don't know, a tennis ball. Even I've seen things, I've seen these little rubber band balls that have grown to be the size of basketballs, and I believe that requires different kinds of rubber bands, especially huge long ones. So yeah. If you guys, I've seen people on the internet start a rubber band ball with a marble or with a bouncy ball in the middle, or even like a golf ball. Start it off in the middle, because starting it off is kind of hard. Well, it's not very hard, but I guess it's not as neat, I suppose. It doesn't look very spherical when you start creating it, so maybe people assume that it won't turn out well. But yeah, I advise you, if you're going to start making a huge one, don't put a marble, don't put a golf ball, don't put any kind of ball inside of it to start it off, or else once you get it big, you'll regret it, because it's not fully rubber band, or it's not fully made of rubber bands, and once it gets big, you'll regret it, because you'll be like, oh man, I wish I started the OG method with rubber bands, not with the ball, not with an artificial starter in it. So yeah, here, let me just take apart this tiny nub here. Here, Here you go. There. And I can actually add to this. Let me take this red one, for example. And here's what I do. Since if this ball was a bit larger, I could wrap this entire thing once over it, and that would be that. But I'm going to wrap it. I need to wrap it around a few more times, actually. A few more times than once. And the thing is, you have to stop it from being loose, because when it's loose, your ball gets weak, or this rubber band can just fall off the top very easily. It can fall off the base, or yeah, the rubber band that is. Yeah, the rubber band, you don't want it, see this thing, you don't want any little loose pieces out. If I see this, I just wrap it around, make it as tight as possible, tight and compact. That's the way to go when creating rubber band balls. Yeah, this is quite small. Maybe I'll make it larger as I collect more rubber bands, because this is actually using quite a lot of rubber bands. I say this is at least 10 rubber bands. But if you have this huge bag of like hundreds of rubber bands, then I mean, go for it. It's very fun. It's a very cool way to store your rubber bands. It's very artsy, craftsy. Yeah, I didn't say crap. I said crafts. Crafty. Yeah, crafty, that's the word. So, yeah, this has been Colonel Dan. This is the little rubber band ball. And, yeah, again, never start your rubber band ball with a marble or anything, or, yeah, an artificial starter, as they call it, because once you make it big, you'll regret it. It won't be fully made of rubber bands, and then you'll be like, oh man, I wish I started, making OG rubber bands as the base, not a marble or a golf ball or whatever you want to do. So, yeah, again, get something thick like this, fold it over itself, and then wrap these smaller rubber bands over. By the way, the larger it gets, obviously, the larger the rubber bands you will be putting around it. But anyways, that's when it does get large. So, thanks for watching, guys. This has been Colonel Dan, making some rubber bands. We're dealing with some rubber bands. We made a rubber band ball. So, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. This has been Colonel Dan. I'll see you in the next episode, guys, or the next video. Yeah, goodbye.